Satsang Gadve Nisan Gadvam Nisan Gadve Nirmo Hatvam Nirmo Hatve Nishala Tatvam Nishala Tatve Jivamukti Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Numate.
Good and virtuous company gives rise to non-attachment. From non-attachment comes freedom from delusion. With freedom from delusion, one feels the changeless reality. Experiencing that changeless reality, one attains liberation in this life. I am is the ocean of awareness. Realizing this, one feels I am not the body and mind, although I have the body and mind. Realize Govinda, realize Govinda, realize Govinda in your heart, O wise one.
So just bring our hands to prayer for a moment. Offering your practice today to the trials and tribulations of our lives. Namaste.
Namaste.
It's quite funny because I've actually got a different title for the workshop than the actual advertising. But as Julie at the back knows, that usually I don't stick to my schedules anyway that I'm supposed to. So the title I've got is The Knots That Bind Us. Okay, so it was something else when I looked today that they have advertised it. So let's just take a moment to use the entry point today of the title, The Knots That Bind Us. So in our scriptures, it says that this word knot is called what in Sanskrit? Granthis. Yeah. So Granthis is a knot in this physical body. So it's saying that it could either be sort of, you have this reoccurring sort of tightness in the shoulders. So it's making you feel coming over, but you don't have a job as a gardener, say, or on a keyboard that you're rounding. So there's no real reason why this keeps happening, yeah? Or unless you're a boxer. So, and then you're covering up. So you're not really sure, but you carry your tension here. So you're carrying the knots, yeah? Or you have really tight hip flexors and it jams up and you don't really know why the lower back this keeps happening again, that you're carrying the emotional knots in that particular area. Does that make sense? That's what we're talking about. It could be another way that through the chakra system, the energy system within inside us, that you're having these emotional blockages again. So you could have this reoccurring thing in your stomach. This is where you're carrying this energy is stuck there. Yeah? Everybody understand? Yeah? So it means like that. Or you are suffering with like tonsillitis. This keeps coming up. It keeps coming up and up and up again. And this could be down to you're blocked there in your throat chakra. Yeah? It's a recurring thing. Yeah? Make sense? Okay. So this is what we mean by the knots that bind us. Asthma, eczema, psoriasis, all of these kind of things. You're distracted. Or, in another sense, you're making the same mistakes. Yeah? You'll suddenly find you'll leave one relationship And then you're back into the same relationship again, exactly the same way. I don't mean just a sexual relationship, it could be a business partnership, any of these kind of things. Or you're having the same reoccurring arguments again and again because you're not getting over that knot, that groove. You're not letting it go. So you're taking your emotions out on a different person. Yeah? So it's not even their fault. They're not the ones that hurt you. So you're taking your baggage into a new relationship because you're not let it go. Yeah? So these knots that you're stuck, why can't you move on? Any ideas?
You won't let it go.
Exactly. You're holding on to it. You're clinging on to it. You're not letting it go. You're attached to that emotion. You're not shifting past it. You're still stuck there. Even though it might have been 20 odd years ago, in your mind, you've still got the seeds. So you're still running rehearsals on it. So you're attached to these glaciers. And this is some of you who've got the handout on the glaciers. We're not going to go over them, but yeah. So you're still hanging on to it. Frustration, jealousy, fear, ego, whatever. You're not shifting up. So you're slowing down the process with whatever you didn't even realise. So you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm improving in my back bending, Dawn. You know, I'm here every week. Why am I not improving? It's nothing to do with your physical. It's what you're clinging on to in your heart chakra. You're not letting it go. You know, why am I not improving in my hip opening? Well, you've got your unresolved relationships there. You've got 20 ex-lovers tucked up in there. You're not letting them go. It's like your storehouse. You become a storehouse of emotions. And you're storing it. You start to take that shape of that emotion without you even realising. Because it's like you're pushing it down and you're keeping it there. And you're so used to holding on to it, you don't even know how to let it go. Yeah? It's like, if you have problems with your family, I spoke about this the other day, invite them around for dinner, see how well you're getting on with your yoga practice. Have them over to tea. Have your sisters over, see how it's going. Many, many years ago, I did a whole chakra sequence, right? And I worked on all these chakras sequences and I went right through them. And I did this whole throat chakra. And I was like, you know, you've really got to learn to explain what you're going through, you know, and you've really got to mean what you say what you mean. And this lady walked in about a week later and she said, I walked straight up to my mother-in-law and I told her everything I thought about her. She said, she's not talking to me. I didn't really mean it into that context of like letting it all out, you know, really didn't mean it. So what we're doing is we're actually suffering ourselves. Does that make sense? So we're not actually the person, maybe, the situation, or even the past experience that we've been through that we're holding on. Them people, it's not affecting them anymore. But we, inside, are suffering. And we're holding onto that suffering. So actually, we're not letting go of the suffering is because we're clinging onto it. So we can't move past that suffering because we're attached to that suffering, whatever it is.
Yoga teaches that we create our own reality by how we see things. Our perspective then is key. Our point of view can be toxic or not, and through the yoga practices we are always changing our point of view. We look at things upside down, right side up, from all angles, while breathing regularly or controlling our breath. These practices offer the opportunity to experience life from a different perspective and thereby provide us with opportunities to root out the toxins that plague us.
So it says that we create our reality. Do you agree with that? So you choose to live in heaven or hell. Yeah. So you create that. We did this a couple of weeks ago where I said you could wake up in the morning, you could hit your toe, and that could sod up your whole day. It would put you in a right mood. Yeah? Because you decide that. There's another word that I always say, that you choose what day, how you want to colour your day. You choose. So if we're going through a really hard time, we choose how we want to approach that hard time. You cannot, and Sharon says this all the time, Sharon Gannon says, you cannot be a victim and an enlightened being at the same time. Which one do you choose? You know, so it can be really, really tough times, but you also choose how you want to handle that. So this is why the knots that bind us, you're choosing how you want to be. Do you want to be bound or not? No jokes. Yeah? It's like that. You can choose to undo him. Does that make sense? Okay, let's leave it for now. So the physical practice, as it was saying, helps us undo these knots as well through chanting, through mantra, through meditation, through the physical practice, can help us shift this energy. And it's called Kundalini, and it's this energy that we're trying to move up through the system. And what they say is most people keep down at the first three. They get stuck there. They can't move any further up. So we want to move the energy up by mantra, by physical practice, by meditation. All this is drawing up instead of just floating around in our own dross. Namaste.